that's what she would do if she hasn't even said this, but if Ethan and her were actually pro-Palestine, they would try to use that position. But until that point, oh, you're an actual, like, by, you know, her husband's own logic, she's that has never repented and done anything, not even in a vindictive way, but in a, like, you have sway over people's opinions.
Okay. In any case, I wanted to briefly get into this, but I guess BadEmpanada also has a take on the pro-Israel grifters and the slop tubers.
Ooh, this is the second channel?
I don't know, but live. So the reason why we're covering this, for a lot of people who say, like, oh, dude, like, this is just drama, I totally understand why you think it is. But there is at this point, like, millions and millions of views that have come from these slop tube content creators in defense of Israel, even if they don't directly say that they're pro-Israel, even if they sometimes say they're anti-Israel, okay? Or even if they say what Israel's doing, if they spend we all have a finite amount of time on this planet, and certainly as content creators, we all have a limited amount of time to make an impact. If you're using all of that time to attack the pro-Palestinian side as aggressively as possible and never reserve even a fraction of that animosity towards the actual responsible party here, Israel, then you're not pro-Palestine. You're just not. You are a coward who is pro-Israel, but too ashamed to openly say you're pro-Israel. Sure hoping your time here is finite, law. I mean, we're all going to die, chatter.
Wait,
myself included.
It was your birthday a few days ago, right?
Yeah, I'm 34 now.
Yeah, so, you know, keep doing what you're doing.
Seen a bunch of drama YouTubers defend Israel just because they don't like one guy has made me lose a lot of faith in humanity. I think it's not necessarily just that a bunch of drama YouTubers defended Israel because they wanted to attack one guy and thought this was a great way to farm clicks and do drama. It's the fact that there are plenty of people in those audiences that didn't go, this seems weird. This feels like you're just attacking this guy because you hate this guy. You're using this as like a point of drama.
Well,
like
part of it is they
clicks.
don't have a lot of them, and I would
it's the audiences that exist that make me sad.
They don't have the context when you say a clip of, it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th, that doesn't change the dynamic that Palestinians shouldn't be subjected. When they take the first part and then they make a whole 20-minute video about how you love rape, even though all you were saying was Palestine should be free and not, then of course people are gonna, you know, come to a less informed conclusion, especially when they are slop tuber audiences where they don't have the context. And I think, like, that's why a lot of times taking the opportunity to provide more context, helpful thing to do with those people. But at the end of the day, they, you know, I think drama as like a category, it doesn't really adequately cover what we're talking about here, because we're talking about creators talking about other creators, but there's a lot of undergirding political issues that drama doesn't suffice if you're just, because it gives a sort of a tone that you're just talking about another creator for the sake of talking about them.
Yeah.
When they are doing drama content in the sort of what's the word, format that they've always used, but they're also defending it with it by only attacking anti-advocates. So yeah, it's
I hope that their audiences at the very least, like as the attitude around this shifts, as more and more people come to that recognition, I hope that people in their audiences at the very least, like even if they still hate me or hate you or whoever they still at least like arrive at the correct position inevitably. That's why I'm more I guess I'm more open-minded about people who are like, oh, now it clicked for me, right? Like the average person online that has only now come to this conclusion. I have a lot less smoke for them than I do for politicians, for example. And my only expectation from those people that come to the conclusion, the correct interpretation of events, that Israel is doing it, and it is perfectly valid, both legally and morally, to resist against these people. that they don't do this wishy-washy, but, you know, I only came to this conclusion late because the left was too aggressive, or because I don't like Hasan, or because I don't like Noah. I don't like BadEmpanada and the way he was speaking about it. Like, don't try to come in after the fact and then still try to like attack people who have been on the right side on this issue from the start. I know people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And maybe I made you feel really bad. I'm welcoming at this point, as long as you don't consistently keep trying to cope and act as though you would have been right all along if it wasn't for these like leftists who were being annoying to you or something.
Yeah, if all the people that have been like propagating this these attacks against creators that are pro-Palestine or anti, if all of them decided right now or realize, okay, I was wrong about this, they don't need to address that they were wrong through like I don't even care if they address that they were wrong, and that they don't need to tell us that we were right, because none of that really matters. What matters is that this is happening and they have a platform to say something and shape public perception, and they need to start using it. And
yes.
like I think even on the left, a lot of people get caught up with this idea that like the history books will reflect poorly upon these people, which is absolutely true, but it gets to a point where people are more focused on the fact that people are wrong and kind of bad people, which is true, for supporting it, rather than, I guess, wanting it to end and wanting to do whatever we can to do that.
Like, I'll give you an example, okay? Mudahar. If Mudahar came out 10 toes down tomorrow and was like, Israel, free Palestine, you know, he doesn't even need to say he was wrong in the past. Like, it would be nice if he did. It would be nice if he apologized to all the people that he smeared just so he could farm content off of it. I would literally be like, all right, good. You know, great. None of this like wishy-washy, it's a gen, but all the people resisting against it are also bad and scary because they're Muslim.
Dude,
like
Ethan Klein, if you're clip this, Ethan Klein, if you're watching, spend one day on your Instagram stories, just one day, or like through every other Instagram story about Hasan, post a photo of a starving kid in Gaza, post a video from Bisan, or post a video from a bombing that just happened, and show us what this state of Israel that you claim to think is a free and open place, what Israel is doing. You don't show that. On your stories, you don't show that. You just attack people because you have your own gripes. Whatever, you can do that. But at least one story, 2 stories a day, not pro-Israel propaganda. I saw Hila like a post from a pro-Israel propagandist. That's pretty crazy.
Hen Mazik?
Yeah, Hen Mazik, about starvation denial.
That's their favorite. Yeah. That's their favorite content creator.
Post every day. Post a few of them, right? And see what happens from there. Like just do that.
Start peppering in some anti-Israel sentiment, please.
I'm not even saying this vindictively or for any reason other than you have a huge platform of people that could see this, and that I think it's framed a lot of times by that crowd as like gore porn, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. They're just like, oh, I don't want to see that.
Said too.
Yeah, they said like a thumbnail of mine.
Someone said he 20 minutes ago. Shut up.
Yeah, so at a certain point,
so he's doing the opposite.
At a certain point, with some people, you have to say, you know, appealing to humanity isn't going to work. It's not going to work. And
let's see.
We don't need to spend any time.
This is my first time looking at his stories.
Oh wow,
holy
is this a live
shit!
react?
There's so many stories, bro.
Oh yeah,
there's so many
20
stories.
Hours
What is this? Does this recognize this individual? I don't know what's going on here.
I think
does anyone recognize the individual from Montreal? My Jewish friend,
the burger guy that was a fighter, Harley Morrison. He went to a concert and people said some anti-Semitic stuff to him, or they called him something. And then
I don't know who these fucking.
It's like a random
are.
Guy that's like an anti-Semite or something, or like some kind of.
Oh,
bigot.
this is like a random. Oh yeah, what is the difference between a fat kid and a Jew? They both had time. What?
See, like that's an anti-Semite.
I dedicate this. Wait, what? I'm mentioned here. I dedicate this convo to Hasan Piker, iDubbbz, and Anissa, who insist that I'm hallucinating anti-Semitism. This is a very persistent hallucination.
No, that's an anti-Semitic post, Ethan. You know that's an anti-Semitic post. What's that got to do with him? What does that got to do with him? When people say you're hallucinating anti-Semitism, it's when you
call... This guy probably doesn't like me either, dumbass.
Oh, no. One thing I was looking at is like, if you go back through your videos, the only person that's like criticizing Fuentes consistently for the last 6 years is you, and other streamers in this zone are like hanging out with him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like this anti-Semitism accusation is not borne out by the facts, other than the facts you spin off of a, out of context clips.
Hamas on behalf of their international
it's Hamas.
He's doing the thing. Hamas on behalf of international spokespersons like Hasan Piker, they sure aren't doing it for the people of Gaza who will only suffer worse from further propagation. Has Hasan ever suggested that Hamas surrender?
Yeah, so this guy's okay, yeah.
He reposted Hen Mazik.
Just surrender, bro. Israel will.
Dude, this guy literally
leave.
thinks
They won't
I'm
annex
Hamas.
Gaza.
Like, I think he genuinely thinks that, like, I have control over this situation. This is insane to, like, take a ongoing and actively turn it back to, like, your own personal distaste for your former podcast co-host because he made you feel bad when he was gently trying to explain to you that you can't call, like, Jewish Voice for Peace capos. Like, if he had listened to me in October 2023, okay, and respected me and wasn't so and a massive piece of shit, he wouldn't be in this situation right now. He wouldn't be looking like a 40-year-old man who just cannot comprehend that this is beyond him and myself. Okay? It is crazy. But it's also insane because there's so many people that literally think that this person is actually still invested in, like, the emancipatory needs of Palestinians. This is just not the case. Like, this is an incredibly selfish, incredibly self-centered person.
I mean, it's just insane to say you're
like he just keeps saying Hasan Piker
and only use talking points that propagate the genocide. Whatever he said about Hamas surrendering the hostages is the line from Israel. The official line. It's the official state-sanctioned, U.S. weapons shipment-sanctioned line to justify a genocide. Just return the hostages and we'll stop. No, you won't. Of course you won't. That's not true. That's never been true. And they don't want the hostages.
Hamas has literally set conditions of surrender 1,000,000 times. The last round of ceasefire negotiations. This is just, like, objectively untrue.
It's just misinformation. Like, literally.
You are spreading misinformation at the behest of Israel while simultaneously claiming that you're an ally of Palestinians. Okay? I don't understand what this man disagrees with Benjamin Netanyahu or with Israel in general if he's saying that, like, Hamas is doing Israel's propaganda for them since we're trying everything to stop the killing and we suggest that Hamas surrender. Are you stupid? That's literally the number one thing that Israel defenders have been saying since October 9. Yes, Hamas has openly stated that they want to, on October 10th, 2023, they said they would release all hostages if Israel doesn't invade the Gaza Strip. Since then, they have put forth more than 40 different proposals where they have talked about a hostage swap for both the prisoners of war that Hamas has currently, which are the remaining hostages, or prisoners of war, they're Israeli military, they're IDF people that they have in captivity still, in exchange for in exchange for Palestinians that are in administrative detention, 10,000 plus Palestinians that are in administrative detention, 2,000 more of them that Israel has actually kidnapped since October 7th, specifically so they can use them as a bargaining chip. And Hamas has said 1,000,000 times over that they would disband, that they would allow the Gaza Strip to be controlled by a technocratic committee. Over and over and over again, Benjamin Netanyahu and his team have said no to this proposal because they do not want what is this? Hold on. Someone's just trying to sell shit.
You don't want a qualified home loan?
Okay. It was just, you
sure?
Yeah, all right.
$1 in $10 million home loan, please. Just kidding.
In any case, people like Hasan Piker want the people of Gaza to pay with their own blood so we can continue to profiteer off the tragedy is so stupid. Okay.
I came in with the intention today to try and avoid talking about people like this. But when we got on
I thought we were doing slop tubers.
Oh yeah. I mean, specifically, I guess, yeah, he's one of the slop tubers and we can, I don't know. It's just like, I think before talking about it, just establishing the fact that, like, there's a focus, a hyperfixation from that community, but also from people that are pro-Palestine on what these people are saying and doing, and what they're not saying and doing. And when they spread propaganda, that should be focused on, but it needs to be placed in the bigger context of what's happening rather than just this guy is a Zionist freak that's supporting a genocide. It's like he is, but so is the U.S. government, and so is like a lot of the public, and that's the problem. He is not the problem. He's the his actions are the result of this broader system. But when he says shit, like when he's doing propaganda, like obviously we should talk about it.
But when someone says like I'm a stalwart ally of Palestinians, that's
the big thing, right? Saying you're an ally.
That makes me so mad because it's like I'm a stalwart ally of Palestinians. I spend every waking moment attacking other pro-Palestine content creators, demanding that they get deplatformed, sue them for ridiculous shit, try to silence them over and over again, spend every waking moment having my sizable audience attack them, no matter where they are, literally spam like media hits that they do, and try to get them to be deplatformed or at least like have be blackballed. Basically, it's not even working, but it doesn't fucking matter. And then on top of that, I just say the exact same shit that Benjamin Netanyahu is saying when it comes to, it's actually Hamas. It's actually Hamas that's responsible for the starvation of Palestinians. Okay, well then what's the difference between you and Benjamin Netanyahu in this regard? You are saying the exact same shit that he's saying.
And it's not like the Hitler drank water argument, right? Where it's like these things you're doing are unrelated and the comparison isn't unrelated. The talking point and the propaganda you are saying is the exact same propaganda that's being used to justify the genocide. They're not unrelated. And when the propaganda you're using is used in service to attack pro-Palestine advocates, then you're doing exactly what the state of Israel is doing in committing a genocide. You're running cover for it. You're propagandizing for it. You're normalizing it for millions of people on the internet. And that's why we say you backed it, is because there's only two options really. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Maybe this is a change of attitude from the slop tubers.
Friend of the show, John Aziz. So John Aziz is this British guy who happened to have a Palestinian dad, though he has no Palestinian culture or vestiges, doesn't speak.
Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say about Ethan was like he kept promoting the Gaza Holocaust Front, the GHF, over and over again. Yep. Again, also invoking my name for some weird goddamn reason. And then as recently as like last week, when everyone was talking about Israel's starvation, he was like, well, what about Sudan? Why is nobody talking about Sudan? He's literally doing Hasbara while simultaneously saying he thinks Israel's committing a genocide sometimes. He says that sometimes.
These guys are so stupid, actually. That's just a very very dumb guy perspective to say not talking about something means that you don't care about the thing that you're talking about. Yeah. That's just not a real thing. But I mean, again, it's it's two audiences.
It's incredibly
stupid. I hate
stupid.
to be dismissive of the propaganda because it is, but it's like, okay,
it's incredibly stupid propaganda, but unfortunately it does work for some people, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn frustrating because people, I think, just want to feel that their favorite content creator is not like a bad person. And there is nothing more bad person coded than to defend Israel's ongoing genocide. Okay?
I got to get my maid outfit. We're redoing the podcast we did.
Arabic, he barely knew his dad at all. And he uses like this Palestinian ancestry to grift as like a pro-Israel Palestinian. Post October 7th, he like monetized his Twitter account. He's like, I'm a Palestinian, but I'm pro-Israel. And like, this got him opportunities that he otherwise never would have gotten, like writing op-eds and stuff in The Atlantic and stuff like that. The generic like capo sort of grift, the collaborator grift, where someone weaponizes trace amounts of ancestry. It's like if there was a conflict between Turkey and Greece, and I started saying like, I have Greek ancestry. Here's why Turkey should genocide all the Greeks. It's kind of like that. So if you want like more context on this guy that I'm not going to be able to give you here, because it's just a short clip covering something that happened with him recently, I have a debate with him on my main channel where I totally exposed him as being just a pro-Israel shill. And then I also cover him in this video, the token Palestinian industry, about 11 to 12 minutes in. So check those out. So John Aziz has recently been noticing that the tide is now turning against like Zionism and pro-Israel shills like himself. And I think he's realizing that he's not going to be able to keep up like this grift forever, right? You can't like trade off you being the token Palestinian for an Israeli genocide. At this point, like this is the offloading point where a lot of these grifters are going to like realize that this is not a sustainable long-term career path. and they're going to have to transition into like broader things or try to make themselves like viable in a broader sense. And one of the ways that they
for them, it's for the Yemeni guy, that's another guy who like hates me, because all of these guys, like, they're so clearly invested in like preaching to a Western audience that Luai Ahmed, that they like focus their energy on someone like myself. Why would they do that? If you are a guy who is of you know, Yemeni background or of Palestinian background, and Israel is like slaughtering your family members, like, you should never even for a moment think about like pro-Palestinian college campus activists or pro-Palestinian content creators, right? The only reason why you would care about that is if your role here is a unique one where you are supposed to talk specifically, like directly to white liberals and white conservatives in America that care about that shit. You know what I mean?
It's like see, this guy from Yemen loves Israel. So that you just got owned. So like, that's crazy.
So what I saw with like that Luai Ahmed guy, basically, because like they are they're now that this situation is undeniable by even more people, they're moving into like the right wing content grift, and I think that's probably what these guys are going to do. He said, BadEmpanada trying to message you. He said this, Turkish fiend. Watch my actual token Palestinian industry video essay, not the second channel slop.
It does give good. It's a long video. It gives better context to like, because he's saying John Aziz is like
yeah, I mean, I know them and I have talked about them before as well, cool. But I think it's good to do a refresher on those guys for sure. But we'll get into it after we watch this.
We'll be trying to do that is by disowning what they have previously said about the Gaza genocide and being like, oh, I didn't see this coming. What's happening here? What? It's a genocide? They're starving them? Oh, damn, I was fooled. Crap. And now they might try to like rebrand as like enlightened centrist grifters, or like even maybe pro-Palestinian grifters in the future, because they want to keep the money flowing in from their Twitter monetization. They want to keep getting like op-ed opportunities in major media outlets and stuff like that. One thing I want to talk about is
like, it's one thing for someone to realize they were wrong and then actively work towards helping alleviate the problem, which is a genocide. It's another thing entirely to use this as a way to boost a media career. And I think with a lot of these people that are going to change their mind and try to reposition, we got to remember, we got to keep a very close record of what they said while it was happening and not let them do that. They'll try, but there should be a continuous effort to say, no. On October 10th, you started justifying what Israel is doing. You started weaponizing your identity to run cover for Israel and blame everything Israel's doing on Hamas, which is exactly what Israel's doing.
Or college protesters.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what you were focused on during this. Yeah. So you can try to move on. And you know, it's good if you want to make videos about how it's a genocide and you want to make like contributions to this, to like, you know, the knowledge of the space. That's a good thing that should happen. But we have to keep in mind that the reason they're doing it is a grift. They're trying to make money.
I think the only way that these grifters can ever do something that is redeemable is if they detail and identify exactly how they were paid.
Yes.
And basically out this entire pervasive influence network and work as a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Like that is the maximum impact that you could have. If you are one of these people and you've gotten your bread buttered all along, the only way that you can change the top, salvage what remains of your morality, okay, is to basically snitch on all of the people that have been like, hey, this is a good article to write. Okay, here's some money for you.
It's like breaking the silence, right? It's like the only, like, we talk a lot about people. I mean, to a certain extent, you know, the world is like scattered with these IDF war criminals now that should all be tried and given the punishments that are legally enshrined. But with someone like Hila Klein, she served in the IDF. She could be talking about what happened, talking about the raid she went on in specific detail where they kidnapped a Palestinian man from his home in the occupied West Bank. She could talk about that and talk about how it's wrong. That's what she would do if she she hasn't even said this, but if Ethan and her were actually pro-Palestine, they would try to use that position. But until that point, oh, you're just a terrorist. You're an actual terrorist. Like by her husband's own logic, she's a terrorist that has never repented and done anything, not even in a vindictive way, but in a like, you have sway over people's opinions. And if you come out and say, this is what happened, this is how it's happening still to this day, and this is how it relates to the Gaza genocide, that would be a good thing. But that's the only way. That's the only way.
Yeah. The thing is, like, people will be like, oh, well, you knew Ethan had lived in Israel. Like, that's what people say to me sometimes, right? Like,
yeah.
Or even Ethan himself has actually, I think, brought this up to be like, Hasan knew I lived in Israel, or, knew that he served in the IDF or whatever. Yeah, I never have this automatic assumption that someone that's like now living in America is going to is going to be like super pro Israel. That's not my assumption at all. I meet plenty of people like, sorry, I'm not the anti-Semite that you want me to be. I'm not.
He should have judged me for being from Israel and being Jewish. He should have been anti-Semitic. Like, that's crazy.
It's so strange, especially because like I always thought that he was like right at the edge of liberal Zionism and could have been someone who could be convinced.
Yeah.
Because of like his past statements about like what Israel was doing and stuff like that.
There was that moment like in the podcast, like right after October 7th, where he was like crying about seeing a footage of a dad holding his daughter that had been killed by Israel. Yeah. And that didn't stick, obviously. But there were signs that showed that potentially someone could be like rehabilitated or whatever.
Yeah, right. I thought that he like recognized the humanity of Palestinians in that moment. And maybe he did genuinely recognize the humanity of the Palestinians in that moment and just forgot about it. I don't know. But once again, people going, he had a whole N-word compilation. Come on now. Guys, this is not about like being right all along.
Slop brain. That's
okay, you're doing that thing. Brain. We're not talking about that. I know. I knew that he had said horrible shit in the past. I thought that because I have this idea that like people have the capacity to change and people can genuinely become
how you talk to the Nelk boys, right?
Become better versions of themselves.
You are willing to have a conversation with someone. And I know that like platforming and like changing minds thing gets like abused a lot. But when you talk to the Nelk boys about their interview with Netanyahu, that was a genuinely very good thing. And you could tell that they were receptive, at least to some extent, of what you were saying about how they platformed a war criminal and let him do propaganda.
I do think that like aggressive negative backlash also helps though, because I think that was probably more helpful. In getting the Nelk boys to like change trajectory,
absolutely,
and have like the Boss and Music podcast on.
Yeah.
So
with Ethan, it's different in some ways, but just your approach generally,
dude, I think prior to the Benjamin Netanyahu interview, the Nelk boys have done less pro-Israel propaganda than Ethan, with the exception of like literally going to Israel and doing pro-Israel propaganda before October 7th.
100%.
Like that's the difference. Like this man has spent every waking moment shitting on pro-Palestinian voices and constantly repackaging like the same kind of propaganda that Benjamin Netanyahu ironically deployed on the Nelk Boys podcast. So that's the difference here. It's the same principle behind like Bernie Sanders. It's disappointing, and it definitely caused me to see him in a different light. That he like still holds on to this liberal Zionist position this far in, when as and this is a conversation I had with Noah Culwin before on the broadcast, where he is like an incredibly prominent, the most beloved Jewish political figure in America, and who was always who has never shied away from demonstrating radical politics, right? And saying the truth. For him to at this stage still consistently, not Chuck Schumer, I said beloved chatter. What I'm saying, like a popular politician who has run for the presidency and has openly said, has openly floated the idea of like denying weapons transfers to Israel in 2016. That was a radical proposition in 2016 for many Americans. And the fact that a Jewish man was saying that was huge for many Americans. Okay. And in this time and place, like Bernie should not be still promoting liberal Zionism and liberal Zionist talking points, saying Israel has a right, genocide. Israel has a right to defend itself, Hamas started this on October 7th. These are ahistorical and also just incorrect interpretations of this conflict. And
he is unfortunately doing this like weird form of genocide denial where he says it doesn't matter what we call it, it's bad. It's like, well, if it's genocide, you should call it that. But anyways.
But the point I was trying to make with Bernie is that like Bernie doesn't get in the way of other people who are past him on this issue. Okay? He doesn't shy away from endorsing candidates and politicians like Zohran or even Abdul Al-Sayed in Michigan who are anti-Zionist, right? He does not shy away from that at all. Whereas someone like Ethan Klein straight up will, similar to Brad Lander, exactly. Brad Lander is another good example of this as well. Brad Lander has done even more than that, right? But having said that, there are other people out there who are doing propaganda for Israel and have not shied away from consistently doing propaganda for Israel, even if it's at great harm to their social standing, which is something that they care about, right? And that's what's crazy to me. That is what's actually insane in this situation is like you are so ride or die that you're still willing to do this thing that even your own fan base at this point is going to recognize is ridiculous.
Yeah, all out of spite, all out of a personal vendetta. And obviously, you know, Zionist propagandizing from living there and, you know, being married to an IDF terrorist. It's like all these things coalesce into this thing where you're causing harm, but enough people are aware of what's happening that it's a losing fight. And that's why I'm curious to see what'll happen. Cause it's like, this is one of the most egotistical people that I've ever seen, like as a public figure on the internet or whatever. So being able to admit that you were wrong about a genocide and admit that you were propagandizing for it, it's not going to happen. It's just not. And that's, I mean, to a certain extent, like you're saying, someone like Bernie, you know, you're not going to stand in his way, just like you'll criticize him when it's necessary, but you're not going to stand in his way, just like he has, because he hasn't stood in the way of a lot of like activists and what's happening in the same way that a lot of Democratic politicians are. But at a certain point with someone like you just cut your losses and say, okay, we'll just like kind of farm this guy to raise awareness for the genocide and educate people for the genocide. And that's like, I really appreciate that about like BadEmpanada, Overzealots, Chris Kunzler, and all these people that are doing this like really good work to just use this person that clearly doesn't, like, if it happens, great, but it's probably not going to happen. And you have to identify which people, I guess, you can facilitate change through. Because at the end of the day, it's not about us. It's not about me and you. It's not about content creators. It's not about anything that we feel about anyone or anything a politician feels about what's happening. It's about the material action and what's happening right now and what we can do to stop it. And, you know, there's that quote from this poet, I forget her name, but it's like, whatever you can do, throw sand in the gears of genocide. Like however much sand you can throw, even if it's just a little bit in your nail, like whatever you can do means for you personally something different for everybody. But you know, I think my favorite form of it and the most effective, at least for like my channel and stuff, is just farming people like that don't want to change. And if they don't, then you identify that and you move on and you use that to try and do something. And I don't know. Yeah, it's like
I mean it's like at this point, if you're still watching H3H3 and he spends an insane amount of time just like shitting on pro-Palestinian content creators and like regularly doing pro-Israel propaganda, you're not just like watching a regular you know, goofs and gaffs show. Yeah, you're consuming Palestine, pro-Palestinian people propaganda. That's what you're doing. You are also, without recognizing it, slowly but surely, most likely changing your own political perspective because he's drip feeding right-wing sentiment and pro-genocide positions, beaming it directly into your mind.
Dude, he's radicalizing them. That's the big thing that they get you for, is saying that you radicalize people into like crazy left tanky stuff that's not the good kind of leftism, which is liberalism, which is fascism when it comes to Israel. And that's what, dude, posting like 50 Instagram stories a day, that's like already laying the groundwork for some crazy shit to happen. 50 concerted Instagram stories about specific people and, you know, characterize pro-Palestine activists as terrorists, but then combining that with like a 4-hour show where, dude, I was gonna say that if you watch it, I've watched a little bit of it recently. No, I know you haven't. That's good. But the way the vibes of that show are, it's just a guy like kind of sitting there being like all worked up and angry about everyone and bringing up names of people to call them terrorists and like having to have his wife get him to stop calling people bitch because he's just calling the women he's suing bitch, and like all this stuff where it's like an angry guy surrounded by a bunch of yes men. And I don't know, like if you're still into that because they do goofs and gaffs in between, which they barely do, that's just like, oh yeah, you're at some point you're in it for the Zionism, or you're in it for the, I don't know, you're in it for the content and you're in it for the Hasan battle or whatever. But
the content that you're getting out of that is just like slowly,
apologia.
It's going to your real world relationships as well.
It is.
Because like I sometimes like I'll see this on Twitter or on Reddit where someone will be like, I don't really understand. Are these people like Hasan snarkers? And they're like, they'll literally be talking about like a person who doesn't know who the f I am, who just has the same position that I have, because many more people are finally coming to this conclusion. I didn't like break their brains into believing that Israel was committing a genocide. Israel made people recognize that it is absolutely invested in committing a genocide by killing children every day. Okay? So if you think you're like pro-Palestine because your favorite content creator says he is, and then you just like repeat the shit that he's saying, most people in the real world are going to look at you and be like, what? I think you're pro-Israel. That's going to start ruining your real world relationships,
I've
your
seen
real
those
life
posts where it's
relationships.
like my wife keeps calling me a snarker and I don't get why she doesn't know, like shit like that, where it's like, what, you're using a term that basically just means, it functionally means the same thing as terrorist, which means bad guy. And everyone that doesn't like me or criticizes me and my favorite content creator is a snarker or a terrorist or a bad guy. And everyone that likes him is like, I like
get
them.
out of the get
but
out
it's like
of
my
this
wife
space.
left me because I like H3 and I watch it all the time, and I like every time I see Hasan's face, I start foaming at the mouth and my like legs break from rage or whatever. It's like this seems wild. I don't know. This seems like an unhealthy exchange.
That's not good, man. I don't know how else to describe it. That's just not good for you. That's not good for your mentality.
No.
Okay.
But then combine that with the fact that your brain is now full of pro-Israel talking points, and you come out of your little like echo chamber to talk to someone, like the thing comes up, and then you're doing propaganda, and they're like, yo, oh, we all know it's a genocide. You're just in this little space that calls it a genocide, but doesn't actually act in a manner that would show that they believe that, or acts in a manner that actively, disputes that claim or denies it. You're an insane person, and they should be shunned. They should not be a as you said, because that's insane. But one day once they're out of it, it's kind of like having a relative that's an addict or whatever. You're like, yeah, this shit's not going good for you, and it's kind of, you're hurting everyone in your life, and it's really unfortunate. But I'd like
glad
it if you
you're getting
stopped.
better.
We should open a rehab center. Ethan Klein Zionism Rehab Center, something like that.
And how can they do that except by rebranding? Because, the tide is turning, the genocide is only getting more and more obvious and undeniable with time. So if they want to keep the cash flowing in, they want to keep their totally unmeritorious op-ed writing career going, they're going to have to find some other way to keep up with it. So John Aziz has recently been posting totally uncharacteristic things like, enough is enough. This is a government minister. It's not some random crazy person. Stop this right now. There is still a chance to make peace after an Israeli government minister said that Israel is racing ahead to wipe out Gaza and make it Jewish. Now, this is something that these people have been saying and doing as well this whole time. It's nothing new. But John Aziz has been defending it for the last 2 years. But now that he sees that, maybe I can't sell this anymore, maybe reasonably I should try to be jumping ship if I want to have any sort of future career as a grifter. Maybe this is my off-ramping phase.
You want food?
So now he's transitioning from, there's no genocide, they're doing nothing wrong. Actually, what they're doing is good to, what? bad things are happening. This is the government's fault. And like a couple of years down the line, when he gets called out for this, he's gonna point to these posts and say, hey, I was announcing this when it happened, and ignoring his previous 2 years of justifying it. And he's like, man, I've been bamboozled. I didn't know about this. I saw some individuals saying stuff like this, and I dismissed it as crazy outliers while also condemning it. The truth is that I should have taken a much harsher line against this poison all along. It's coming from the literal government. It has been the whole time. Yeah. It's coming from Israeli society as a whole as well. They all want this. Any poll shows it. Like, let's look at like recent polls showing that more than 80% of Israeli Jews want all Palestinians expelled from Gaza. My fault. Recent survey conducted by Pennsylvania State University by an Israeli professor at Pennsylvania State University, published in Haaretz on the 28th of May. 82% of Jewish Israelis back expelling Gazans. And this guy's like, I saw some individuals, just some individuals, like literally 4 in 5 of them, more than 4 in 5, in fact, saying stuff like this. And I dismiss it as crazy outliers while also condemning it. They've all been saying this the whole time openly. It was the plan from the very beginning. They leaked plans. Like the Israeli government leaked plans outlining their expulsion plan. Literally immediately after they started invading Gaza. Paper drafted in October 2023, which proposed expelling all of Gaza's residents to Egypt. 82% of Jewish Israelis support this. And this guy who has been insisting there's no genocide, they're not going to expel anyone, it's just to destroy Hamas and get the hostages back. Now he's like, what? It's actually to expel and kill everyone?
That's the face.
And take over Gaza for Israel?
Oh my God, no way.
What?
Crazy.
I had no idea.
2 years of genocide.
It's coming from the government? What? No way. There's going to be a lot of other people having this about face. Like Lonerbox has been doing this recently as well. Though he is worse than John Aziz still, make no mistake. Loner's prediction for Israel's aid plan came true immediately. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Look at that.
It's funny because he's like crafted crafted such a Zionist audience. Those videos don't do well, I suspect, as opposed to like,
I bet the comments are a mess.
Yeah, they're like, what are you saying? Israel's not number one? What are you saying? Israel number one. You hate Israel? Do you not love Israel?
I wish I could do an accent, but I would just come off very badly.
Yeah, I mean, I come off really badly too, but it doesn't matter.
That's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good Israeli accent. Yeah, the replies to all these guys.
I live two doors down from this anti-Semite on his screen. Bad chinchilla. He wears Teddy Fresh tracksuits on the weekends.
Exposed.
He was mad at his own chat calling him anti-Semitic. I wonder why you have cultivated such a community that would consider any criticism towards Israel to be anti-Semitic. I wonder how that happened. Dude, oh no!
This guy said, what did he call it? He called a one-state solution anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
right.
He also he had some choice words. I heard he said something along the lines of like, if all Jews are pro-Israel,
right,
then you're and they're all no. If all Jews are pro-genocide of Palestinians, you're against the genocide of Palestinians. And I was like, yeah, okay. Who cares? What do you mean? Like, that's such a stupid argument. What do you think? Like,
if that's anti-Semitism, the word doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
anymore. then being Jewish is being pro-genocide. That's what that means. And it's like, that's anti-Semitic.
Which is incredibly anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
It is such a stupid argument that you could only put together if you just think like Jews are magical, mystical, mythical people or something. Like, what the f do you mean?
They're allowed to do that. Right?
Like, that's so insane. They get an excuse.
I mean, that's the logic of Israel, though. It's like, this happened to us, so so anything we do is justified because anything we do is in defense of allowing it to happen again, and just weaponizing it, right?
Contemplative thumbnail. Unacceptable. Oh my God, Israeli policy didn't work at giving aid to Palestinians in Gaza. No one could have ever seen that coming. It's almost like it's not intended to help them, but it's like, oh man, Israel really effed up. They took a big L here with this bad policy. They were genuinely trying to, like in good faith, trying to implement a policy to help people in Gaza, right? That's the sort of thing that he's going for. And he's like, oh man, I'm just critiquing them. This is the sort of
everyone has something to say about ContraPoints.
of guy who would like critique the amount of rations in the death camps rather than just denounce the Nazis for having death camps. That's who he is. These people are going to be trying to dial back and whitewash what they have been saying this entire time. Think about it.
Lonerbox is my favorite Marxist. You should listen to him sometimes, brother.
That's awesome.
I bought my wife a Teddy Fresh hoodie yesterday. Long story short, we're getting a divorce, and I'm ashamed to say I was married to an anti-Semite for 10 years.
True, it's anti-Semitic,
Remember
so
it.
not.
Don't let them off the hook.
Teddy Fresh
As they
looks like
realize
shit.
that what they're doing doesn't sell anymore.
He did say that. He did that with Vanilla Mace. And this is before I even met Vanilla Mace. Vanilla Mace literally was like, Teddy Fresh tried to send me like a PR pull, and and she was like, yeah, that's gross. I don't want that. And he literally, you straight up was like, she's an anti-Semite.
She doesn't want to support Israel Zionist-owned businesses.
If you don't wear my adult baby clothes, you are a anti-Semite, dude.
Oh my God, dude.
He straight up said being anti-Teddy Fresh was akin to the Holocaust. No. Stop.
Y'all tripping. If he did say that, I need a link to the clip.
That's great. Yeah, Vanilla Hamas. Vanilla Hamas.
Oh, shit. You got a funny chat, man. Sometimes when they're not yelling at you or trolling you.
Yeah. She wasn't even talking about like Zionism, by the way. She just said the clothes are ugly. That's it.
That's anti-Semitic, man.
Which is, of course, incredibly anti-Semitic. I can't believe you said...
being Jewish is liking shitty, weird clothes. That's what being Jewish is.
He's going to clip you.
Anti-Semitic,
He's going to clip you. He's going to clip you and be like, oh, we
Teddy
got him.
Fresh,
He's being anti-Semitic. We got him.
Yes. Brother, I was quoting you. You made the sandwich.
Anyway.
They will try to distance themselves from it. Oh, he released another one too. Whistleblower testimony on Gaza aid plan reveals shocking details. This isn't shocking for anyone but you, Loner Bucks. You're not even shocked by this anyway. You know that you're trying to defend a genocide. You're conscious it's happening. You're just trying to defend it. Whoa, shocking details. Everyone knew this was happening from the very beginning. Everyone knows what they're doing in Gaza and why they're doing it. You're just trying to pretend otherwise because you're an idiot. Well, yeah, you are an idiot. You're stupid, but you're not defending genocide because you're an idiot. You're defending genocide incompetently because you're a shit, terrible person paid by Israel to do so. These little rats are going to be scurrying out.
I think the saddest part for many of these people is, I don't know about Loner Box, but like a lot of them are not even paid by Israel to do this. Yeah. They're literally doing this because they just backed the wrong horse. Like, some of this does go back to Destiny because these guys are like his dick riders, right? His orbiters. They call themselves that. And basically after October 7, this moron who is a horrible deadbeat dad and a sex pest decided, oh, Hasan is pro-Palestine. I'm pro-genocide. And he just came out of the gate swinging with that statement and then had to basically engage in the worst ad hoc rationalizations I have ever fucking seen. And he had the audacity to do this in real time. Okay, basically documenting every step he took, and all of his dumbass orbiters that aren't even getting paid by the state of Israel.
That guy, Destiny, that guy's girlfriend, I think. Something like that.
I don't know.
There's some weird lore with them.
I don't know like the deep details of the lore and their background. I don't care. I don't care to know. It's just like,
but it's just like they're doing it for free. Because they are part of the orbit.
Yeah, but it's
and then they
crazy.
Join in on the propaganda.
It's crazy. At least like you could have gotten some benefits out of this, man. You just are doing this for free.
I think they might have got a free trip, but like
free trip to Israel.
Yeah. Thank you. Super good. Super
great.
Awesome. They got to hang out with Elon Levy. That's the best thing ever.
I got a free trip to Israel, and what is it? Here's a link to the vanilla thing. Oh, I think
who hit me up today on Instagram? Teddy Fresh. They said, "Hey, we'd love to send you some stuff." How about?
This is incredibly anti-Semitic. Please don't watch this.
How about that?
Yeah, they're going, no. Her chat's going, no way. Oh, hell no.
Sorry, I don't know. Do I need like media training now that I'm like, have more people in here? How about?
That's funny.
How about? Oh, brother, this guy stinks. The fuck? Are you out of your freaking mind?
Do they design the merch themselves?
Bro, it's so over. 1.5 million likes on this, dude.
Really? Yeah, it's over. I've never seen that many likes on TikTok, I don't think.
Fuck, the millennials who wear only pastel. The millennial who only wear color block pastel.
Wait, pull up
are gonna
Teddy
come for
Fresh.
me?
Let's look at some of it.
No, I'm not. Okay.
Because it literally is that.
Damn it. Please, even if Ethan wasn't a raging lunatic, I still would never wear Teddy Fresh.
A certain
so butt-ass ugly. Oh my god. Okay, anyway.
Here's another dipshit I need to deal with. Why can't y'all take a day off? So brave to dogpile a Jewish creator who was at the CPS's skull sent to his house in retaliation.
Snarker, stop it. Dude, he said I was trying to kill him the other day. He's awesome, man. He's so awesome.
Stop. Oh, you're dogpiling on me. So brave.
So anti-Semitically.
Oh, yeah. You sent the skulls. You are Hamas.
She totally sent the skulls.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's like he did so much content around like skulls being sent to his house and like CPS being called to his house or something. And I think it's like ridiculous, obviously, to do those things. It's up, right? And I said that from the start, but he tried to literally bring that to every conversation where it was like, oh, you don't like Teddy Fresh? You sent skulls to my house. How dare you say you don't like my wife's adult baby clothes at a time in this troublesome time.
That's murder, bro.
In this troublesome time where I've had, as a Jewish man, skulls sent to my house.
It's not even that he has it. It's like she helped. Because she said this thing, she's a part of the snark, the giant scary thing that's all around me that did skull stuff and did CPS. It's like, I don't know. It's like a guy that's backed into a corner alone in a room. Crazy.
Oh, man. Hold on. I'm texting my manager. Bye, Teddy Flop, or you're a Hamas.
Holy.
No, I didn't say anything about Judaism, CPS, or skulls.
Oh, man. It was
TikTok hates that guy.
Yeah. It's not. Twitter obviously is already a shitty ass space to try to figure out whether someone is good or not, but he's got the only place he can hide in is his Instagram stories at this point because no one can like respond to it.
Yeah, and he's like said that publicly, right? Like, I like posting these because no one can say anything.
No one can just like quote retweet him. So he just like can say from his hug box whatever he wants. His own chat, which is like heavily moderated to eradicate all criticism, even from fans. And then I guess like that's it. He just has his little community that's increasingly getting smaller and smaller, and the clothing business is falling apart. Other producers in the space are leaving. No one wants to collaborate with him, and he just can't understand why. And he just keeps pushing over and over and over again.
When you get on NPR, it's because you paid. But he's not on NPR. He's paying like random Substack writers about how, it's anti-Semitic to not buy his clothes. Yeah. What I was gonna say is this shit is like, this contributes to anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
a lot.
So anyway,
it's cheapening. It's saying, oh, anytime a Jewish person something happens to them that they don't like, they just call it anti-Semitic. That doesn't mean anything now. So now I'm anti-Semitic. Like that process is these types of things like facilitate that process, which doesn't absolve blame from people being anti-Semitic, but it's like, if you're weaponizing it every time something bad happens, then you're cheapening it. Like you're making it something that doesn't actually have real world effects.
Oh,
right?
Isn't this is Dan Stalkman, the Diddy man himself, his
Diddy
company.
Dan, yeah.
Diddy Dan's company, Redact Dev. Oh God, that's another freak. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a weird.
So anyway, you would
annoying.
expect Hasan to make this valiant.
Hasan's shocking and totally unexpected response to the Mikey clip.
He's Mikey.
It was Michael from Pennsylvania who's banned right now because he says some fuck shit. Then and then immediately was like, "Oh, I meant Zionism. I didn't mean Judaism." But
he said like Jewish Judaism is a constructed demonic identity, but then he said it was Zionism. He meant to say, right?
Yeah, and then they of course snipped the second part. I mean, you got God. That's you
can't be saying that, white baby.
Yeah, you got God, and it's so. It's funny because like I didn't know what he had said at the time. Okay. I just literally said, I don't know what he said. I'm talking about children being starved right now, and this is what you want to bring up because you want to farm a clip. Okay. And I don't give a okay. I ultimately don't care. I'm not Michael from Pennsylvania. Go take it up with him. Okay. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And I also said in the process, you're just looking to farm a clip.
From you.
From me.
Yeah.
And they clipped it And then he literally played that part on his stream. This is the video. I saw this.
Offering to his Jewish audience. And if there are any Jewish audience left in his crowd, which I'm sure there are, maybe a few of the the ones who are proud tokens to be spent by a person who wants you to die.
You hear that, chat? All Jewish folks in the chat. He wants you to die. And they're still here.
Yeah.
Are you guys? You need mental health. They're suicidal.
Hate yourselves.
They're suicidal. Please get some mental health.
And not in the regular depressed kind of way, but in a special, different kind of way. You hate yourself. You want, you're all tokens. Oh.
Not anti-Semitic, by the way. Him saying that. Yeah, not anti-Semitic. Crazy, bro.
And who's about to defend a Nazi? Let's hear what he has to say. But I hope that if there are any Jewish people left in his audience.
Low to no.
Right,
okay.
But yeah.
Dude, I mean, God, Dan. Oh, this is the saddest. This makes me more sad than Ethan's decline, honestly. Like, this man has a proud history of like being direct descendants of Bolsheviks. Okay, Bolsheviks. Like, he is part of the reason why I did Leftovers. You know, and now he just is the most well-paid babysitter, I guess, and has slowly but surely, increasingly become a bigger and bigger dick rider. When initially his role was to just like keep Ethan in check, and now he's just low but no.
That one was
he should have got.
Yeah, like
the
I don't know,
moment.
it was like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Ethan made the claim that I said that I was trying to kill him. That I said that I said you should get a gun and go kill propagandists. It was something to that effect. I'd have to get the timestamp. It was crazy, like crazy thing. And Dan immediately was like, he didn't say that. Nope, that's not what he said. And he was like, I'm pretty sure he did say it. He was like, nope, that's not what he said. We can pull it up. And then he's like, no, I'm pretty sure he did say that. And then we watched it. It was like, oh, he didn't say that at all. What are you saying? But then Ethan's like, well, it was pretty much the same thing. And Dan's like, yeah. And then they move on. And it's like, oh, he's willing to challenge him, but it doesn't, like, it's the king on the throne. Like, there's nothing you can do at that point.
No, he's not even like challenging him. He's just ass covering so he doesn't get himself.
It's a legal threat. Like, he lost that lawsuit, right? Like, he knows what defamation. I mean, he doesn't know what defamation is apparently, but because he's still doing it. But like, he has people around him that are.
For him, it's literally, he actively defames me and Sam Cedar with regular frequency in like horrible ways, right? But the reason why he does that is because he knows that if we sue him for defamation, that's a long and drawn out, convoluted legal process that he can make content off of. So because he's just so busted in the brain that even if he ends up losing that long and drawn out legal process, which he would, right? It's still, he's made this calculation, I think, in his mind that like, it doesn't matter, even if he loses hundreds of thousands of dollars in the process, it's still worth it because in that year-long period, he can constantly make content off of it. Just like with the what was his name? Brian Kavanaugh, the billionaire guy.
Ryan Kavanaugh, yeah, the guy who sued him for defamation.
Yeah, like successfully and won.
He had to apologize. It was so funny. He had to read an apology.
But in the process of like creating, like, he always needs villains. He doesn't have any other content. He just like needs to have major villains that he's positioned against, that he like psychotically stalks. And for the most part, those villains have been like universally acknowledged bad people, whether it be like a billionaire guy or whether it be Keemstar, like, you know, Myron people like this, or like Myron Gaines. Like, so it's never been like this before, where he can, where he has a hard time coming to terms with the reality that like all of these other liberal outlets are not like taking his propaganda seriously.
Right. No, it's like it's like debate lord stuff. Like when you foster a community of people that just are there to see you get mad at people and own people and have enemies and fight with people, your community is gonna be full of weirdos that are gonna be down to just be like, yeah, I mean, I'll support a genocide as long as the guy who I don't like is the one we're attacking for it. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense why that happens.
Yeah.
I feel like your aversion to like debates and that sort of stuff, even if you do like the drama slop occasionally, probably makes your community a little less, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Freakish like that.
And we also actively stamp it out. Like this is one of the few instances where I'm allowing it to. I'm letting it rip because you're here.
No.
But under normal circumstances, I don't like, especially because you're here. I would normally never entertain any of this because I'm covering the news, and most people in my community, other than the people that are in here currently, most people in my community have no clue what, I don't know, Ethan Klein is up to. They're not interested in it because they're.
Yeah, I thought it was done for a little bit, and I was glad. I was like, damn, this stuff. I hadn't heard about it for a while, and then we came back in the news cycle when he said I was going to kill him or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Should we watch the content?
So go ahead,
again?
Hasan. Teach us how it's done. Paragon of anti-racism.
Let's go.
I don't know what the Mike from PA said. I don't give a shit, okay? And I don't care about what your concern is. Let's be real. You are not concerned. You are just trying to simply farm a clip.
Oh my god. Oh my
Which
god.
they did. They literally did do that.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Like they were successful.
Yeah, and Dan is like, they were successful. They farmed the clip off you.
Oh, they're gonna farm this clip. No, and then it just cuts right to him fucking
gotcha.
ending the clip.
He's so pathetic.
But also he saw
That
the
sounded more like he doesn't give a shit about Mike
Yeah,
from PA,
very
if I'm being
antisocial
honest.
behavior,
Which
you
is
know?
in line with what we have previously kind of asserted, that he's sort of not really in the inner circle despite wanting to be.
I don't think
This is a straight up bar for bar. Shame on you, Dan. You know that you are repeating something that the sex pestiny community has cultivated. You are literally saying that bar for bar, that, oh, like Mike from PA wants to be in Hasan's inner circle and he's not a part of it. It's like Mike from PA is his own man.
That guy
Okay.
makes like 20 grand a month on subs.
Yeah,
man.
he's an adult. He has his own successful, content creation. He has his own views. It's just so sad to just constantly be like, no, Mike wants to be Hasan's friend and Hasan doesn't give a shit about him. It's like, it's parasocial. It's silly. Just stick to the issues. If you have an issue with what he said, then, talk about that, but you can't do that. It has to be, everything has to be, considered from the framework of drama.
Yeah. Invited to the
Because like what
That's
what
not
as it
happening
was
here.
clipped,
Yeah, I don't think that's what's happening.
That's
will
not
say,
what's
though,
happening.
I think
Mike
what you're
said
saying
was anti-Semitic. The way it was clipped,
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Judaism as a demonic ethnicity. Of course, that's obviously anti-Semitic, but it was clipped out of context. Apparently, you can't.
But if it
defend
doesn't
what he
matter,
said.
there's no
Doesn't
defense
matter.
of it.
There's no defense of what you should say, and it's
like
anti-Semitic
when
to say
someone.
that. But being mad at that, not for what he said, but because you didn't respond to it immediately, and it's not like your response was adequate, even if you didn't watch it, is like, oh, you're content brain. Like that's not actually about anti-Semitism at that point.
Like you said, you have a childish brain and you do childish things.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Mike from
funny.
PA is way more radical than you and pretty often disagrees with you on stream. Great. I have no issues with people who disagree with me who are on the left. I've said this over and over again. I don't have issues with people who disagree with me. I think that's healthy. That's a normal part of discourse. And that's also a normal part of coalition building. Okay? It's normal. There's a reason why you don't see me left bashing often, even if there are things that I disagree with. Like BadEmpanada is a great example. Like there's disagreements I have with his methods sometimes. Okay? But that's how it should be. That's how my fans should be as well. You shouldn't be going to other content creators, okay, who are on the left, who are advocating for progress, advocating for the same things that you want. But because they have like any sort of disagreement with me or with whatever your worldview is, you shouldn't be like going into their chats and like constantly chirping at them. Okay? You shouldn't be doing that. That's up. Okay?
I mean, it's indicative that maybe your values aren't actually aligned with the left, right? Or aligned with pro-Palestine activism, if that's all you do.
Yeah. Do you have issues with people who criticize your drip, which is, to be honest, extremely warranted, Onk? No, my drip is excellent. Actually, that's the one thing that I do not allow.
Permaban.
What? By the way, you called this out ahead of time.
I didn't realize
While discussing the Netanyahu interview, Ethan Drine draws a line, an equivalence between the Prime Minister of Israel and a Yemeni teen TikTok influencer.
No way.
No, they think he's worse than Benjamin
Yeah,
Netanyahu.
totally.
That's the thing. Like they literally think it's worse.
he was
than
even
that.
saying shit like, "Oh, your worst take is that he's Burger King."
The whole thing was Netanyahu saying we're so relatable, we're just like Americans. And actually, it's not just about protecting Israel, it's about protecting you. It was insane.
It was let's humanize the killing of Palestinians. It was genuinely just like, what are we? I can't believe they had access to that, and I can't believe that it was carried out. I genuinely just like, it is so dangerous that such stupid people have access to such powerful stupid people.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to what you said, Tom, like I think Hasan said, there's no circumstances in which I would interview Netanyahu, and I think Netanyahu's like the one exception.
That's not true. He said he would interview Netanyahu.
I from what I saw, he said no.
No, I said I wouldn't interview. I said I wouldn't interview Nick Fuentes. And I wouldn't platform Nick Fuentes. Benjamin Netanyahu, I would interview. I would just be incredibly critical, obviously.
You would platform Netanyahu.
No, he said he would.
Unbelievable.
Although I'm sure he said I'm equipped to interview Netanyahu. Meanwhile, again, he goes, I heard you guys have this video. He goes, you guys asked him about Burger King and McDonald's, like, which is crazy. And then you crash cut to Hasan being like, yo, there's KFC in Yemen, bro.
Dude,
this only works if you legitimately think that even a prominent figurehead within the Ansar Allah movement is equivalent to Benjamin Netanyahu. They are not, let alone a random Yemeni TikTok influencer. Okay, they're not equivalent. Yes, one is on the right side of this genocide, anti-genocide. The other one is the one responsible for doing the genocide. Okay, that's why you're mad. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's like.
But this is the problem. Like, these that watch this shit and watch the slop tubers without realizing are unironically, they're unironically tapping into this distorted worldview. That's the problem. That's what's so frustrating about this issue, is that there are so many people who just like don't even exercise a little bit of critical thinking on this issue and go, yeah, no, actually, it's so much worse. It's so much worse that Hasan interviewed a Yemeni teenager or a terrorist. He interviewed a terrorist. He interviewed a terrorist over and over and over again. And being like, why are they terrorists? Oh, that's right. Because they're implementing a naval blockade because Israel is doing a genocide. Okay? It's crazy.
Yeah, in the just world, Rashid would be able to sue these people for everything they have, because the evidence they had for him being a Houthi is crazy. But even if he was, right?
But yeah, that's what it is.
They're against the genocide.
They're so unbelievably committed to the delusion that this guy is a Houthi, is what they keep repeating over and over again. Even if he was, it doesn't matter. And I've said that from day one. Like, I have told Ethan Klein 10 toes down within the framework of Israel doing a genocide and a regional actor trying to take action against Israel doing a genocide. The Houthis are right. They are correct. They're correct to do a naval blockade.
They're the only ones following international law. The obligations of states under the Genocide Convention to intervene against genocide.
Norm Finkelstein literally said the Houthis deserve a Nobel Peace Prize, that they're heroes of morality. Okay? Like, their domestic issues are utterly irrelevant in this conversation. Okay? We are talking about a genocide, and I've proven that this does not matter. This calculation does not matter to you either, because you don't make this calculation when you're talking about the Allied forces during World War II. You don't say, well, the Easy Company was comprised and defending America, which at the time was a segregationist woman country, okay? And in many respects, maybe we haven't really evolved from those positions, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were on the right side. They were fighting against the fucking Nazi scourge, okay? You don't make that assessment when you're thinking about World War II, when you're thinking about the Holocaust. You don't go, I don't know, was the Easy Company, like, what was the Easy Company soldiers and their opinion on black people, their opinion on women, their opinion on gay people? It's fucking ridiculous.
What a fucking hack loser bitch that guy is. Fuck
Dude,
that.
Do the hamburger. Like, they're talking about the
I love that they invited Hasan Piker on to nestle in so comfortably with Myron, Nick Fuentes.
Wait, what?
And Sneeko.
Wait. Now he's saying I'm like nestling in with Myron, Sneeko, and Nick Fuentes, people who fucking despise me, by the way. And I despise them.
And you've talked about that at length.
And I have talked about them more than he has. That's the craziest part.
Exactly.
Because I do care about anti-Semitism. He doesn't. He just wants to weaponize it against not even like critics of Israel necessarily, but it usually is critics of Israel, obviously. But but it's more so just people who fucking make him feel bad.
It's Jews in your chat. Like that's he said. Jews in your chat are tokens. He called them tokens.
That's like that's anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Myron, Nick Fuentes, and Sneeko. He has the same valuable opinion as all of them on the topic of Israel. He's a valuable voice in the panel of great anti-Semitic fucking lunatics. So, by the way,
is no one gonna push back? Are there no? What happened? Did their mics get muted? Like, I know none of those motherfuckers in the room feel that way.
You saw how like even he on his own got to the point of talking about you, and that riled him up to the point where like he's yelling. And they didn't even say anything. So I'm assuming challenging him on that point on anything to do with you would result in, I'm pretty sure it has. He kind of freaks out. So it's like, that's the vibe of the show are so fucked because it's like, everyone's like, I don't want to say anything about this because this guy's going to freak out at me and it's going to be uncomfortable for the next hour.
Who's this? Are you going to have Peyton on soon now that he's out of jail?
Peyton?
I don't know.
I think that the inability for people to distinguish between that group of people that are anti-Semites that have extensive evidence of being anti-Semitic versus you who is pro-Palestine and has an extensive evidence of being against anti-Semitism, and then framing you as just the same thing because they don't they're not willing to even look into it.
How is Goblin anti-Semitism? Ethan is a goblin because of his behavior, not his identity. Let's make it known. No, Ethan himself is like called himself goblin mode over and over again. But I think now that his community has changed so much in the last year or so that people are, people think that people are being anti-Semitic when they call Ethan being a goblin. Like that was his own personal, assessment that he would just be like, he calls it goblin mode when he behaves in these I guess now it's all goblin mode now.
Yeah, it's like the whatever historical tropes are being invoked that have history to them are now just being used to defend Israel.
Like goblin is like
rats and
like
goblins.
J.K. Rowling has basically really pushed that fucking trope, okay?
Gringotts goblins are crazy.
Yeah, they're. What do you mean, money goblins? They control the money
with the big noses. Nuts. That's so nuts.
Yeah, but no, I think like with Ethan, it's just like that's him calling himself goblin mode, which is usually an indication that like they call him a goblin. They're literally referencing that, and it's really interesting because like his new fans don't know that.
Right. And they're all Zionists, so they think it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I was invited to participate in that panel. You know what? I didn't want to have anything to do with it. How about that?
What? Okay. Anyway, all right, we're done with this shit. This is
jump scare.
Fleeing from responsibility for what they have done and said in the last 2 years to help enable this genocide. Do not let them do so. Remember who they are and do not give them a path to opening up a new grift.
True.
Hey, I don't know who the fellow on the left is, but has he condemned Hamas? I'm scared.